What is up, everybody? It's Dr. Vibe here, host and producer of the award-winning Dr. Vibe show, the home of Epic Conversations, and I'm the home of Epic Conversations. 2020 Best Podcast News Award winner, 2018 Innovation Award winner given out by the Canadian Ethnic Media Association. I also co-host and co-produce the only online show in the world for dads and fathers. It's sponsored by Dove Men Plus Care. And in 2023, 2022, and 2021, our team has reached out directly and indirectly to over 100,000 fathers and dads around the world. I also am a featured contributor to the Fly Nubian Queen YouTube network, which has 570,000 subscribers. And coming up in the next few weeks, going to be having content shared on the Indie Soup Media platform out of the US, and their reach is 1 million people. That's it. That's all. We only got a little bit of time with this wonderful person today. So I'm just going to bring her on the screen because I just need to just bring her on the screen. We're going to be chopping it up with the Honourable Kamal Khera, Canadian Minister of Diversity, Inclusion, and Persons with Disabilities. What is up?
Well, happy Friday and a very happy Black History Month, Dr. Vibe. It's so good to see you. It's always a pleasure to come on your show and to talk about the incredible work that we're doing together. And just on the side note, it's just always anytime I come on, we really do have epic conversations. So I just want to say thank you for the opportunity. And, when you talk about Black history, I just want to take a moment to thank you. And because you really are a good story of making Black history every single day as a work that you're doing to getting those stories out there in the community. And it's important for me to recognize you. So I just wanted to first and foremost wish you a very happy Black History Month and to talk about all things that we're doing, things that we need to do, and some exciting things that we're going to be focusing on.
Well, receive that. Thank you so much. And I'm just going to do it real quick. For people who don't know about me, please subscribe to my YouTube channel and also hit the notification button. You can also follow me on Facebook, LinkedIn, and Instagram at The Dr. Vibe Show. And also, please advertise. If you want, advertise your business, product, or service on our platform by email me at dr.vibe at the drvibeshow.com. And big shout out to Laurent, my man who makes things happen, especially this. He needs to get his props. All right, get into it because I know our time is limited.
Absolutely. Look, let me just again reinforce the fact that, it's been such an incredible month. February is my favorite month. And theme for Black History Month this year, as you may know, it really has been about Black excellence, a heritage to celebrate and a future to build. And it really is about, taking a moment to recognize the incredible contributions of Black trailblazers who have made history, who continue to make history, and to continue to work on a path to make sure that we're building a better future for all Canadians. And, one of the things I've often reflected on is the fact that, when I got elected back in 2015 and the work that we started at that time, and when in 2016, when Canada worked alongside so many incredible members of Black trailblazers across the country, and when Prime Minister Justin Trudeau, alongside our Black caucus, announced that Canada became the very first country, Western country in the world to officially recognize the United Nations decade for people of African descent. And that really led to us to have a roadmap in terms of the work that we need to do to address the challenges, the systemic challenges, to address systemic, racism that we've seen in our institution, but also for things that the community has been asking for, whether it is economic empowerment, whether it is, taking a whole of government approach to ensure that we are supporting Black Canadians throughout this country, because it's not just good for Black Canadians, it's actually good for Canada. And so it's been an incredible journey since then. As you may know, since then, whether it is the Black Entrepreneurship Program that we put forward that is actually supporting Black entrepreneurs all across Canada. And, you were at actually one of the events with me, Dr. Vibe, with the Black Health Professionals Network, who were able to take advantage of this program, build this healthcare network of Black professionals, health professionals right across the board to make sure that we are working with community members so people know that, there are different challenges within different different communities, and that is being reflected on that. You won't believe an organization, and this really was about, access to capital gain. This really was about making sure that there's those networking opportunities, and for businesses, Black businesses, to actually scale up. And because of that, more than 500 businesses right across, just through one organization face, $50 million they've invested to help over 500 businesses get access to capital gains. This is Black-led businesses in order for us to support that work. When you talk about, the work through our Supporting Black Communities initiative, this is Black-led, Black-serving community organizations that we're supporting through Black funders, all the way from Nova Scotia to in Ontario, and right across the board. And, when you talk about the stories of resiliency, when you talk about the work that's happening, it is quite remarkable. And one of the things that I'm so excited to tell you is that, by the way, we missed you at the Black History Gala that we hosted.
You went offline on that, and then you come back with, okay, but how long I've been asking to get some of your time? So touche, but you know what? Received. And when that time happens, we'll take the picture. We'll go live on Instagram and say it was reality.
It was happening.
Okay.
But I have to tell you, last week we had over thousands of Black trailblazers from right across the country that came to Ottawa, where we celebrated Black History Month. And it really was a chance to not just, get together to celebrate, but talk about what more we can do. And that's where the Prime Minister officially announced that Canada will be extending domestically the UN decade till 2028 in Canada. This really is something that the community has been asking for, something that community is saying, like the UN decade is ending. What is Canada going to do? But Canada, obviously, since we weren't in power, like we signed the decade obviously a bit later, and we wanted to make sure that we continue to do this work together. Whether it is to address the overrepresentation of Black, Indigenous Canadians in our criminal justice system, whether it is the work that we need to continue to support, taking a whole of government approach and addressing some of the systemic challenges, but also, making sure that we are there for the community, whether it is the entrepreneurship program, whether it is the, Supporting Black Communities initiative, whether it is the endowment fund and the non-for-profit, that we are talking about Black excellence every single day. Because I always say diversity is a fact in Canada, but inclusion is a choice. And as a government, we have been very deliberate in the investments that we're making, and we're going to continue to make sure we're supporting Black Canadians, because it actually leads to a better Canada for all Canadians.
Fantastic. Gonna ask you one or two conversation pieces, because I heard your notification in the background, so I'm gonna definitely be cognizant of your time.
Yes.
Where does your government, what do you need from us to amplify? Because yes, you're putting a lot of stuff out there.
Yes.
How can we make it better for your government and for all Canadians?
This is such an incredible question, because I get to meet so many incredible organizations all across Canada. In fact, I'm going to Nova Scotia next week to meet with some of the amazing work that's happening there as well through our Supporting Black Communities initiative. But I think it's important, it's one thing talking about like, okay, we're investing XYZ money into this community, but what is the impact of that work? And I think we don't share enough of those stories. And, I'll take some blame for that as well. And I really am trying to amplify some of the work that's happening, because unless we share our work and what this means for Canadians, I find that we're not quite there yet. So I think what it would be extremely important is to showcase some of the work that's been happening. Some of the work that's happening, and let me give you an example. The NIA Center for Arts in York, that's Canada's first ever professional Black arts center. That's what the work has led to. It has meant to have been able to, to get more. They were able to get more equipment. They were able to create new programs to better support Black artists. You talk about in Montreal, the Campaign Theatre Creole from Montreal. which works with marginalized communities of young people from low-income families through arts to educate, to combat, domestic violence, to talk about, mental health issues. When I talk about some of the business communities, I mean, I've seen that, in my own community for Aspire for Hire, like because of the work, because of the little investment, sometimes it's like, it's just access to capital gain, access to capital loans. It's about networking opportunities. It's about making sure that we have trusted partners to scale up your businesses, because how do you empower communities? You have to give tools to be able to be very deliberate about making those investments, right? And I think it's so important that we talk about the work that we're doing, or showcase that work, and something that I will be working with the community members. And this is where I think you also play a big part in telling those stories, is around telling these stories, because there's incredible amount of work that's happening with leaders, and I think it's important to, one of the things that I think we really honed in on, that it is Black led, Black focus. We can't do the work unless people in the community are part of it. And from the start to the end, that's been the formula for the success of this work. But I think we need to do a better job at showcasing those stories, and I think that's where you play an incredibly important role in making that happen. So I will take you up on that, my friend, and get you to tell these amazing stories right across Canada.
No problem. You were reading my alleged mind. I was going to say, suggestion, tell them they've got a home here. They've got a home here.
Absolutely.
What are some of, and again, this is probably our last conversation piece, what are some of the common challenges you're hearing from African Canadian voices?
Well, that's a really good question. And when you talk about, and there's different pillars, and I think the UN Decade really framed the roadmap to address some of those challenges. When I talked about the real challenges within our criminal justice system, the real challenges, and that's the overrepresentation of Black Canadians in our criminal justice system. And we've made some deliberate changes. We've made some, in fact, I think last time I came on, we were talking about the Black Justice Strategy. That work is absolutely ongoing to make sure that it is feeding all the information that's happening. Whether it is, the work that needs to happen to support, the smaller communities that are on the ground, right? Because you have these big organizations, and I think one of my things that I work with the community is, how do we kind of build this network of organizations that are providing this support to communities, and to make sure that we're amplifying those voices for the community. And third is really about that economic empowerment. There's so many incredible Black businesses. In fact, I know you were mad that I was having a really good, I was having some jerk chicken with one of your good friends in Brampton,
who I introduced you to. Well, leave it at that. Keep on going.
Absolutely. But it really is about amplifying also, it was for, we were celebrating obviously the Restaurants Week, supporting Black communities. It was important to, and Brampton.
I don't mind that.
I know, but I have to give a special shout out to Brampton, because we have amazing Black businesses right across the country, and I have been able to work with different members. I want to amplify those voices. But to your point around the challenges, I think what with the Black entrepreneurship program that is Black led, that is supporting the work that the Canadian Chambers of Commerce is doing to make sure get access through our BDC, which is a loan a facilitator. It really is about giving that economic empowerment. And I think that is one of the things that I've been working really hard with, taking a whole of government approach, if we're really going to make change. And I think we have to be very deliberate about that change. So I know we're going to have some very, very exciting things also as we move forward. And as always, I will be back on your show to talk about what more we can do to support the community every single time. But I think extending the UN Decade for the people of African descent, it highlights our government's commitment to ensure that we are committed to support Black community, because we know as a government, it actually leads to a better Canada. And this has been something that I know I've been having many conversations with members of the Black community, and we're going to continue to make sure that those voices are amplified.
All right. That's a wrap. That's a wrap. If people want to get in touch with this wonderful lady, Kamal Khera Lib, Instagram, and she's very active on that when she has time. So as always, I want to say thank you for taking the most important thing you have time out of your personal life, your family life, and check out her Instagram, family. She has a really good post on Valentine's Day. I ain't gonna say what it is, but to your family, and as always, don't just manage your time, manage your energy, and remember to give yourself grace. And you'll be hearing from me today via Instagrams because we have some things to chat about. But thank you so much, appreciate it, and enjoy the rest of Black History Month.
Thank you. And we're going to be celebrating Black History Month every single month. So
Thank
more
you.
to come. And
Received.
Thank you. And have an amazing, amazing day in the rest of the week. Thank you.
Take care and stay warm. Bye. All right. There we go, family. Great conversation as always. And I'll put her contact information back on the Instagram. Great. And that's a wrap. That's one of the quickest conversations. Whenever I get politicians on, it's really quick because they got packed schedules. So also big thanks to Laurent to help make that happen. So as always, if you want to get in touch with me, website, the DRVIBESHOW.com, YouTube, Facebook, and LinkedIn, the DR_VIBE show. Instagram at the DRVIBESHOW, and X at DRVIBESHOW. You can catch replays of this epic conversation at the Dr. Vibe Show YouTube, Facebook, and LinkedIn. And also at my website, the DRVIBESHOW.com. So as always, this is how we end off our conversations. Live your life as a dream. If you can dream it, you can make it. Sometimes you have to get small to get stronger. Block assumptions. Then aim bigger, aim better, aim higher, aim wider. Love, faith, and respect. Remember to give yourself grace and don't just manage your time, manage your energy. God bless, peace, well, keep the faith, and walk good.